Before I get started, I'd like to kindly ask that you hit the like button, and please subscribe to the channel for more content just like this.
All I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
You know, I talk a lot about agendas or disingenuous behaviors as it pertains to production companies in modern entertainment. And while some people do understand what I'm trying to say, a lot of people do push back on those ideas, all in an effort to defend a corporation that for some reason they have a much too deep connection to. But as in the case with the story I'm going to talk about today, in most cases, these companies actually confirm what I'm talking about.
Get the fuck out of here! No, I cannot, it's serious!
A lot of times, fanboys are just too naive to actually see it. I understand if you want to remain blissfully ignorant and enjoy this shit for what it is, but a lot of people out there, myself included, have a certain standard that is rarely ever met, and that's not our fault. It's Disney or WB or whoever's job to create a product that is universally appealing to both casuals and diehards alike. If you cater to just the casuals, you will most likely piss off the diehards. If you cater just to the diehards, then the casuals most likely won't know what the fuck is going on. A good creative team and good writers should be able to find balance and appeal to both.
That makes sense.
Now, I consistently get labeled as an MCU hater for reporting on things in a wild and speculative manner. But the truth is that I'm not speculating, I'm just thinking for myself. For some reason, at some point, people got it into their heads that it's a bad thing for people to think about things too much. They would much rather if I be a mindless consumer like everyone else, but I'm just not built that way.
Fuck me, right?
Critical thinking and asking questions is how you get better results. For me, it's not about hate clicks. It's about saving what I love, that being movies. But in order to do that, I need to bring light to the bullshit. And I would venture to say that a lot of you subscribe to me for that very reason. So this brings me to Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. To be clear, I could care less about this movie, but this video will contain no spoilers.
You have the luxury of not knowing what I know.
I'm not the type to ruin something for somebody just because I don't give a shit about it. And to be honest, I don't know shit about the movie anyway because all I've seen is one trailer and I haven't really been following any news stories for it either. This video is about the behind the scenes process and how Kevin Feige and company got to this point. But in order for me to set the stage for this story, I have to go back and talk about when WandaVision was first released.
Because it's all part of the plan.
But apparently the original plan for WandaVision involved Doctor Strange showing up and creating a direct connection between that series and Multiverse of Madness. This is pretty standard shit for the MCU. They do this type of stuff all the time. But come to find out, Doctor Strange was actually removed from the end of WandaVision, and this is how producer Kevin Feige responded to that, saying, quote, "It would have been cool to see Doctor Strange, but it would have taken away from Wanda, which is what we didn't want to do."
Why?
He continued, "We didn't want the end of the show to be commoditized to go to the next movie, or say, here's the white guy, let me show you how power works. That wasn't what we wanted to say." Do I really need to elaborate on why all of that is a crock of shit? The MCU literally built its fucking empire on teases at the end of one story that lead into the next story. Yet for some reason they decided they didn't want to do that here, and they didn't want to tack on Doctor Strange's inclusion.
You didn't see that coming.
So what exactly made WandaVision an exception to your formula, considering everything else you've ever produced has done this exact thing? Well, Kevin Feige let us know. At the time, Marvel was all about appearances, or so it would seem. They felt the pressure from the Twitter crowd, and they didn't want to appear to embrace that pesky white male savior trope. Because let's face it, you can't let no man, regardless of how powerful he is, tell a woman anything. Yes, queen! All of a sudden, because Wanda is a female, they were worried about a cameo stealing her thunder. If Doctor Strange can steal her thunder that easily, then maybe she wasn't that well written to begin with. And just the fact that he mentions that Doctor Strange is white, doesn't that pretty much confirm the agenda that everyone likes to pretend doesn't exist?
Man, I'm tired of being right.
Do you really think that die-hard MCU fans would have questioned if Doctor Strange showed up at the end of WandaVision? No, the only people who would have actually given a shit about that are the casuals who like to make problems where there aren't any. And that is exactly who Kevin Feige and Marvel Studios were trying to appeal to with this move. They chose ideology over telling their usual connected universe story. But I'm making this shit up, right? You literally heard it directly from the horse's mouth. And we all know that he's flat out lying about not wanting one story to set up a future story.
You sit on a throne of lies.
All in an effort to reinforce the all-new MCU initiative. And now in a new Doctor Strange featurette that they just released, they explicitly state that it would help if you watched WandaVision before seeing Multiverse of Madness. But if you didn't want that connectivity between those stories, then why should it matter? You see why I say shared universes are a burden on creativity? Because the continuity and storytelling becomes jumbled because even the producer is contradicting himself. Sam Raimi himself, the director of Multiverse of Madness, also spoke about wanting to please WandaVision fans and take them to the next level with the character of Wanda in Multiverse of Madness.
No shit.
Now, at the risk of sounding like a hater, let me ask an intelligent question. If you were worried about Doctor Strange overshadowing Wanda in her show by just existing, why aren't you worried about the reverse with Wanda apparently playing a huge role in the new Doctor Strange movie? Do you think that poorly of the character of Wanda? Because if so, that's not very beneficial to your narrative? Or maybe you just don't give a fuck how Doctor Strange looks, and you are setting us up for the inevitable bait and switch. Surprise, surprise, the man-baby feels threatened by another strong female character. When are you incels going to realize that your white male savior characters are not needed or wanted anymore? Women are the future of these franchises, and praise Kevin Feige for realizing it.
Ironic.
Shut up with your toxic fandom movie clips. Newsflash, Marvel doesn't belong to you anymore, and we'd rather run it into the ground than give it back to you. Wanda's gonna come in and show the white guy how it's done, am I right? We're just gonna ignore the fact that she mentally enslaved a whole town because this is our strong, powerful woman's redemption story. That's what we're talking about when we say an agenda. It's literally sitting there and smacking you right in the face.
What is the 5 fingers say to the face? Slap!
It's not about what makes sense story-wise, it's about what's going to be appealing to the casuals. And the people who don't give a fuck about the origins or lore associated with these characters. They are literally telling you exactly what they are doing, but I'm the bad guy if I bring it up. I had very little desire to see this movie in the first place, and now I have even less. It's time that everybody wake the fuck up because even the MCU isn't the MCU anymore. So let me know what you thought about all this in the comments down below. As always, please like, comment, share, subscribe to the channel. Hit that bell for notifications, and I'll see you next time right here on Real Shift. Thanks for watching. Peace out.
Y'all be cool. Right on.